commenting the conservative position. It's not the case that conservatives don't want black people in movies, right? And you know that, right?
No, I want to know that, but I don't know if I
not
actually know that. Analyze the remaining 18 episodes that contain stereotypes. They had 106 characters in total, including 12% for the ghetto look. So not only is there underrepresentation, current representation is not actually all that positive. So for us to have a boost in representation as far as the Little Mermaid movie, that's the only film I'm talking about, which now is also demonstrated that can help lead to perceptions people have of others, which would then be good because more people are not going to be viewing media where black people are being portrayed as nothing but stereotypical. How is this not just a net win for society? Unless you're racist.
I know it's a lot of these studies that you're posting, they're not even studies, they're analysis, not even peer review or have like a control sample.
And this is how I know that you are actually in this for nothing but bad faith. You don't have a control group when we're talking about analysis of media representation.
That was a study though, and which most studies are supposed to have, you know.
What? Wait, no. Dude, who cares about this? I want to go back to apple juice, okay? Look, apple juice.
YouTube, bro.
Hunter, Avallone. Okay, and YouTube, that's like saying, I got a motherfucking Instagram. Who gives a fuck? YouTube ain't shit. Fuck him.
Hey, anybody here
interested? I'm saying this is an occasion because because Hunter Avallone just don't randomly join a fucking VC, especially not here. This don't happen.
Okay.
Hunter, what are you famous for, Hunter?
Dude, I literally
just did. Listen.
Oh, it's Hunter.
I'm sorry. There's
oh my God.
Is there
famous for, Hunter?
Excuse me. Is there anybody here that would?
No scenario in which.
No, I don't want to debate.
Come out. You still speaking. What's up, bro?
I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that would be interested in debating me on
I won't be a debate, bro.
Particularly on the issue of the Black Little Mermaid.
All right, so
Let's do it.
It's gonna be training day underwater.
Wait. You're not a fan of Black Little Mermaid?
No, I am. I've noticed a lot of conservatives aren't, though.
Okay.
I'm not a conservative, but I'm more so centrist on the in general. But I am not a fan of it because I know that
he's too light skinned.
Me personally, as a black man, it just looks like pandering that Disney's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I understand why you might feel that way, but like every movie to a certain extent is pandering. Every movie's pandering to an audience. And so there's a couple problems here is like, one, I don't see the problem actually. Even if you want to say it's pandering, so what? Featuring black representation in media is a good thing. It's positive and it leads to positive outcomes in society. So there's that. And second of all, I don't necessarily know if it is pandering. Like having a black girl play Arielle doesn't really seem that.
He's too light skinned though. They should pick an ebony goddess.
Yes, sir. Oh my
God. That's fair, and I get where you're coming from, right? As far as like, you know, black representation and supposedly the need for it and whatnot, right? The problem that I have with it is that a lot of private corporations like Disney, Nickelodeon, et cetera, that monetize these sort of things, right, end up putting minorities in a sort of bad lens when they continue to do this, right? And what it does is that it kind of goes against their sentiment of egalitarianism when all you do is just continually pander and try to put forward these diversity quotas towards these said individuals who fall within these lines of demographics, but don't actually try to, you know, retell the story in a way that will interest everybody. This was nothing more than a political stunt by Disney.
No. You're falling into the conservative narrative / trap where they do the white guy is normal and then black people political. Like that's kind of what I feel like you're falling into a little bit right here. So you're right that there is a degree of pandering, and you're also right that doing it in a disrespectful, callous, almost corporate way would be disrespectful at the end of the day, sure, but I don't see how this instance specifically is pandering. I mean, the fact that right now it's profitable to feature more diversity in media is a positive. That means we are literally heading in a direction in which diversity is becoming more and more mainstream. It's something that more people want. If anything, this is just indicative of the fact that our society seems to be moving towards a more egalitarian society.
Wait, are you suggesting that films did not have black representation until this latest like woke push to like replace traditionally white characters with black characters? Are you suggesting that before this?
I feel like you're already doing it, like the woke push to having black people in movies. If you think that's woke, my only conclusion is that you are racist.
You already did something that was like super bad faith, and if you do that again, we're bringing a mod or some shit, you know?
Wait, what did I do?
Well, that's not what I consider to be fairly woke, right? In the new Iliad, for instance,
one at a time,
where they have Achilles, right, being black when he's an Achaean Greek, that doesn't make any sense, right? Or when you have Margaret of Anjou in the Shakespearean adaptation, the Hollowed Tree. I'm forgetting exactly what the film was called, right? But you have this Queen of England being portrayed by a black woman, right? Which is a bit historically inaccurate, I would say, right? Like it. So that is the woke push.
Well,
right?
It would. So can I clarify? Because I think it would really. I think it really varies on what's being changed. So yeah, if there was like a movie depicting history and it was about a real person, like the Queen of England or something, and then you changed the race of that person, I would kind of I wouldn't call that woke, but I can see how that is like kind of like, wait, what? That seems sort of
call it woke.
It seems sort of silly. I get that,
right.
But that's different. But hold on, but
that's the woke push.
But wait, you're mixing shit up here because there is a difference from replacing historical people who were real and replacing their race as opposed to or changing the race of a magical talking fish person.
Okay, so it's further beyond. Okay, I get what you're saying, that you would take it more seriously if it was like objective reality, like the movie was.
Like people try to say, for example, how would you feel if they did a Martin Luther King movie with a white guy? Like, hold up. One, that's historical. Two, his race was actually relevant to the plot.
So, but okay, so Little Mermaid was a Danish literary fairy tale, right? What if we had a black fairy tale with a white protagonist?
Can we just get me, Banji, and Zeppy Teppy in one call because there's too many people in here?
No, I want to listen.
Those are the only two talking.
Well, if you want to listen, you can go over to my stream.
Hunter Avallone.
Oh, you're just trying to. He's trying to advertise this.
No, I'm trying to avoid this right here.
Right now, you only have to.
A better analogy would be if you had a black fairy tale.
I don't care. I don't know about Zeppy, but I'll do this. I would love to do this because
I would too.
Dude,
I think this is a good conversation already. Let's just go to a different VC.
I'll tell you what, Hunter. If you want to, let's go down to Hunter's cabin and me and you can have that conversation one-on-one. Is that fine with you?
You mean Hunter's camp?
What?
No. Let's get me, you, and Zeppy Teppy because I like the difference and the contrasting in your guys' views.
Yeah.
Let's go
You're running away, Hunter.
Yeah, you're right. I'm terrified. Let me go to the.
Yeah, but I want everyone who's in here. I have a lot of friends in this chat, right? So I don't want to just leave you.
Yeah. Can I come too? You know, I don't want to see a mind being
of us. One of us.
Okay, well, I guess we can.
Come too. If
I guess we can all say them. Let's continue on. You know, we can
all right. Let's just if we can just stick it between me. Is it Benjay? Is that how you say your name?
It's Banji.
And Zeppy Teppy, then that would be fine. Just let's try to avoid everybody else cutting in. But okay, please continue, Banji.
I ain't gonna hold you. This is like the fourth conversation that I've had with you. You don't remember me, but yeah.
Okay, well, I hope that the last ones were friendly.
They were.
Okay.
This one probably won't be as friendly, which is something that I strive for. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Where are we going to go?
Where are we going?
I was explaining how it's very different if you are changing the race of a real person or a real historical thing as opposed to changing the race of a fictional talking fish person.
Right. I agree.
Fair enough, Hunter. Though I would say, right, if we're talking about a Danish fairy tale, right, if we had like an African, sub-Saharan African like fairy tale, right, and we had like white characters, or we had like white characters playing Egyptians, right, in that film Exodus, which I thought was really fucking stupid too, right? I don't like white characters playing like Egyptian mythological figures, right? It just seems weird to me, right? Especially if you have like North Africans at hand who can play them too, right? Who are like qualified, right?
I agree with that. Yeah, sure, but even the thing like, oh, but it's the Danish fairy tale. I feel like people keep bringing that up to invoke that's why Ariel should be white. Nothing about the original, or there's very little that is actually analogous to the original work. So like the movie nowadays, the new movie coming out, the 1989 film, the cartoon, it's incredibly different from the original Danish fairy tale. You know that, right? Like there were so many differences. The original was far more dark, and also black Danish people exist also. So I don't know, this is just a weird, like, I don't like this, like, appeal to geographical accuracy when we're talking about a fictional fantasy film. Like, if you're going to worry about that, then why are you not complaining about the fact that fish people are talking underwater? Because that's not realistic.
I mean, they make it fucking...
But Hunter, let me throw something in here real quick, and then I'll throw it over to you, Dink. There's a difference here, right? Because as far as what we know with the Arielle movie, by the way, shout out to Halle Bailey, literally a solid singer. Love her and her work, by the way. But when we're talking about in this particular sense, and based off of what we know, nothing as far as the script goes has changed, other than the fact that the main character has all of a sudden had a race change, right?
But this is how the remakes are.
Hold on. Wait. The story didn't change, the plot didn't change, nothing changed, but the character itself, right? Now let's go through it a little bit. Let's go through. No. I'm gonna tell you why this is important, right? This is let's go down a little thought experiment of once upon a time when another Cinderella movie came out, right? Where it was an all black cast, right? Cinderella played by Brandy, the godmother played by Whitney Houston,
okay, I get it, yeah.
Basically the whole cast was black, right? And the entire plot was still relevant to the overall Cinderella story, but the entire demographic changed and the story was a little bit different. That I would be 100% fine with.
But this is missing the point.
Case, this is grade A pandering because all they did was change the individual's said race and didn't actually do something, and didn't actually do something with the plot to actually make it relevant. How can you change somebody's race but then not make it relevant to what the demographic might be dealing with in modern day society?
So you think there should have been more focus on the race in the film?
I think that
wouldn't that be more pandering?
I think that no. I think that in these particular cases, if you're going to try and tell a story from a black person's perspective, right, you need to be a little bit more objective with it, rather than just changing everybody's race and then just calling it a night.
It's not, no.
Right?
Exactly I need to respond now. Hold on, no.
Yeah,
First of all, I feel like you're missing the point. The remakes are supposed to literally be a remake, however done to look more realistic. I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, I fucking hated the new Lion King thing. So I get it that that's not the most appealing style, maybe. However, that is the point of the film. It's not really, it's completely unfair almost for you to be like, well, they just changed the actress. Everybody else is different too. Every actor in the film is different from the original character in the cartoon. Of course. So changing her to simply be a black girl, why not? Being black or white is largely irrelevant to the story. So if you're going to complain about pandering for having a black person play the part of Arielle, wouldn't it just be more pandering if you had the black woman playing the part of Arielle and then also the movie focusing heavily on the fact that she's black?
Well, no, if I can I input really quick? So I think a lot of people, they're not critiquing on her being black. They're critiquing on her, not being cheap with the setup, with the get up. Like say, my girlfriend, she watched the trailer and my girlfriend's black. So let's get that out of the way first. The first thing she noticed that the costume looked really cheap and they didn't apply enough evening makeup on her because you can see her scars on her face. No, I'm being dead serious.
That's fine, but this is so
I can bring her on.
This is so separate from the story. If we want to talk about like the filming wasn't nice or the lighting or the makeup was wrong, that's fine. You don't have to like the movie. And there are plenty of things to criticize the movie for. But when I see this outrage and people claiming it's woke to have a black girl play a fictional character who at no point needed to be white, then yes, that comes across as incredibly racist. Even if it is, hold on, wait, even if it is
Hunter, but they see it as part of a broader trend that you, for some reason,
but they're wrong. They're wrong then. And the problem that they're lumping it all into one broad trend is also a problem because there's nuance here. For example, there have been films that have disrespectfully depicted people of the different race just for the sake of pandering. Yes, there have also been films, however, where maybe they have a different race character playing a historically white character, and it has no real relevance there, or it has no bearing on it. This is an exact example of just that. How is it going to be a problem? The story hasn't changed, you're right, but Arielle can be black just as much as she could be white.
You want to know what's weird though, and shout out to Yesser for actually pointing this out. The makeup that they applied to Halle Bailey, that's the actor, was incredibly light skinned, right? So it's almost equivalent to the typical like skin tone of like a fair skinned Danish woman, right? So it almost has people think, what was even the point of bringing forward a black woman to play this role, and you're trying to mask the fact that she's melanated.
Wait. Okay. First of all, I don't know what. Wait. Hold on. Wait. No. I don't know what melanated. Hold on. Stop. I don't know what melanated means. First of all, that sounds yikesy to me. I don't.
Black. You know what melanated means.
Well, no. I know what it means, but I don't know what it means in this context. In this context, it comes across as incredibly yikesy.
In this context. Okay, Hunter. I'm gonna send you a picture of what Halle Bailey looks like.
I don't need to see a picture. I understand if maybe the makeup made her look whiter. What is the point here? She's ultimately a black woman playing the Little Mermaid that either hold on, wait. I'm sorry. I was asking the question rhetorically. I should have been more clear. But the point, again, is that, you know what? Actually, go ahead. I kind of lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
So let me tell you what the actual point is. I know it's a rhetorical, but this is actually important. When the point of the matter is that black people amongst its own demographic already deals with the sentiment of colorism, right? So when you are and I'm speaking as a black man, like first and foremost, because we're already dealing with this sentiment, it does not make it any better when we see somebody who's supposed to be a black woman be applied all of this heavy makeup and all of this extra shit to make her look more lighter. Now I could be completely wrong. This could just be the lighting. This could just be the camera angle. I don't fucking know. The movie didn't even come out yet. In all respect, the movie, but based off of what I have seen and based off of what other people in this VC have seen, she's incredibly lighter than what she actually is in real time. So this already screams to me colorist narrative, lighter skin equals more prettier skin, etc., and that's not okay.
Well, first of all, I understand some of your issues there, but like you said, the movie is not even out yet. I genuinely don't know if it's fair to come to such an extreme conclusion based on just the trailer where it showed her for less than 60 seconds. It very well could have been the lighting. And even if her skin via makeup looked a little bit lighter, that is a separate conversation. There is a conversation to be had about colorism or whatever you would like to call it. What I'm talking about right now, though, is this phony outrage from people who are claiming it is woke somehow to have a black girl play Arielle. Hunter, and also, hold on, wait. I have one more quick thing I'd like to say, just really quick. There's also been plenty of examples, which I'm sure you've seen, of black little girls reacting incredibly positively to having a black Arielle. So, I understand if you have your view of that, maybe they made her look whiter or whatnot. But I mean, clearly this film is still having a positive impact on certain members of the black community, no?
Hunter, would you be equally comfortable if we had an African fairy tale, right? Well, one that's sub-Saharan African and with a white lead. Would you be fine with that?
Do you think that that's never happened before?
Well, no, it has, and I'm not okay with that, right? I actually oppose that too, right? I oppose the whole Exodus gods of Egypt thing where they had white actors playing Egyptians. Right?
That show was hilarious. Fucking
That's
Yeah,
fucking stupid though, and there was controversy, right? It was about myths, but it was fucking stupid because you had white European actors playing.
Sure, and admittedly, I don't remember.
I'm asking you right now: would you be as comfortable if we had a black fairy tale with a white lead?
A black fairy tale with a white lead, it would fully depend, I think, on probably on the context. If the race was completely irrelevant to the story, then yeah, I wouldn't care. But if there was something crucial or important, an important aspect of the African sort of fairy tale aspect, then yeah, I probably would care. And part of that is because black people do not have anywhere close to equal representation in media. So white people are represented far. Hold on. White people throughout history, throughout the last 100 years.
Let him answer the question, and then there's something I want to respond with that.
I can go and look it up in a minute too, just if you would like a source on it. But yes, it's well understood that of course the majority is going to have more representation in media. So having a actress that was previously white or a cartoon that was previously white changed to a black person does more positive than negative. It literally benefits society.
Right. All right. So let me tell you why this does. Let me tell you why this doesn't work. Right. First of all, let's go through a bit of a thought experiment. Let's say that this is completely fictional and that we're going down a complete and utter fairy tale in this situation, right? Where we have something that is clearly based off of African culture, right? And the epitome of it. Now, if this same fairy tale was made popular and everybody and their mama knew what this fairy tale was about, who was the main character, who was the antagonist, who was the protagonist, who were the side characters, the whole 9 yards, right? And all of a sudden, further down the line, let's say like a decade or a decade and a half down the line, we see this movie get remade, but instead of it being based off of what it was originally, it's suddenly based off of something totally different, like white culture, right? And I don't like to use the term white culture because I think it's just a fucking dog whistle in all respect. But if we have something like that occur, would it then not be a bad thing for them to just suddenly do a complete and utter shift on what it actually is? The fairy tale.
Well, I mean,
itself.
if we want to get down that path, first of all, again, the example you just gave me, there was a part of the plot that was relevant on the fact that it was in Africa. So yes, I would have a problem if the plot was being compromised for the sake of changing race. That is not what's happening here. Hold on, man. That's not what's happening here with the Arielle thing. We're talking about just taking a previously cartoon of a white girl and having a black girl play it in the live action remake. Not to mention, last thing I'll say is the Little Mermaid movie from the 1980s was already incredibly different from the original. So I don't think your analogy here is actually all that analogous.
It very much is analogous because we know that the Little Mermaid is based off of a particular culture. In this case,
no,
Dutch.
It's not. No, what do you mean? Hold on, wait. Based off culture and depicting a specific culture is different, my friend. If you have the prince, quote unquote, then yes, that's not part of Danish culture, and it's not anything to do specifically with Danish culture either. Again, the race is irrelevant to the story. That's what I'm talking about here. The race does not matter. Like, the Little Mermaid, you realize the Little Mermaid has been depicted differently for many, many times. I mean, the story was told originally in the early 1800s? Like, this story's been around now for over 100 years. It's been changed.
Wait, what are the significant departures? What are the significant departures or deviations that you can list? Especially in terms of, like, aesthetics, right, and appearance. What are the specific ones?
Ponyo is an adaptation of Little Mermaid that Miyazaki.
Hot dog, whose side are you on right now?
I'm just saying.
So, I mean, I'm also looking this up, and there were black Danish people in the 1800s. So I don't even know why that would be changing the culture.
I want to see. I will challenge every assumption.
Okay, yeah, you can Google it if you'd like, or I can find a specific thing for you. But I searched images for black Danish people in the 1800s.
I mean, that's pretty obvious, right?
There's no need for it to be Googled.
There's black everything if you really look it up.
There's no need for it to be Googled. Obviously, everybody and their mama knows that there are black people in there are black Danish people like across the whole entire board. This is right? Now the problem is,
No, black people have been in
I think it's pretty
Danish
easy
and
to
Dutch
draw
for a
to the
while.
conclusion. I think it's pretty easy to draw the conclusion that maybe perhaps Disney did not go off of that narrative. Like, hey, there are black Danish people. Why not put a black woman in there?
But
we
why?
know the excess. Okay, Hunter, I get where you're coming from, but in all seriousness, I think that you're kind of taking Disney at too much of good faith right now.
Wait, no,
Yeah,
no. Stop, please stop. Hold on. I'm not taking Disney at good faith at all.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm getting terrible echo. Whoever's echoing me, please make it stop. Well, hold on. Can I? No, wait.
Okay. Go ahead.
All I want to say is, I have already acknowledged Disney is a corporation. They are trying to make money. Yes, I even agreed with you that it probably is a type of pandering. All movies pander to a specific demographic. Like, do you think Star Wars movies never pander? Of course there's going to be a level of pandering because the film wants as many people as possible to come and watch it. Obviously. So the pandering thing I already admitted also. I'm not taking Disney at face value at all. I was responding about the black people in Denmark specifically to you saying that it didn't fit the source material. The source material has already been changed and interpreted so many times. I don't know why now, if it was interpreted with a black mermaid, that's suddenly the end of the world. So no, I'm not taking Disney at its face. I agree that it's virtue signaling. The question is really, is it good virtue signaling or is it bad virtue signaling? And in my opinion, having more representation of a minority group that has historically not received equal representation, to me sounds like a net win. And this is the last thing I'll say. I'm sorry I'm being a little long-winded, but this is the last thing, is there is also evidence when it comes to at least the issue of gay people. I can try to find one specifically for black people, but I know for gay people that media depictions of gay people helped in increasing the acceptance of gay people. And it's easier to track that specifically because that is a newer thing. So,
but by the way, you have yet to provide like a source to attest to this this notion that black people were underrepresented in media before this woke push, right? In the last 5 years.
Wait, no,
right?
okay, hold on, no. Now, wait. You're adding you're adding qualifications. I never said within the 5 years.
Well, you can't just point to the '60s, right, and say, oh, so they were underrepresented then, right? And because obviously, like in our lifetimes, we've seen plenty of black representation, right?
Wait,
and in our
pointing
lifetimes,
to the
I mean,
60s would actually be incredibly relevant. There are all kinds of things that happened in the 60s that are still impacting black people today. So yes, if I were to show you that from the 1960s until now, there was, or I guess till the 1960s up to maybe, I don't know.
Can you do the 90s and now? I just want to see if there's any huge difference.
I'll find one that gives you a specific number, sure. But I mean, I thought that it's kind of basic math that obviously if you're talking about a minority group, they're not going to be as represented on media.
Oh,
my understanding, black people are like very overrepresented in like movies or TV shows and music and sports. Like they just like, I remember like I read this on like Wikipedia, and like black people like make up around like 15% of like represent of like characters in like modern like American TV movies. So they're not like underrepresented at all.
17. It's actually 17.
If I can just
the population of so they're slightly a little bit slightly overrepresented, despite their population in the country. Which to me, I don't really see an issue. Like I don't. I guess it's adequate.
And either way,
if I can put my 2 cents in,
right.
Hold on, Peppy. Before you bounce, let's throw this over to Corey because he's been waiting.
So if I could just put my 2 cents in this, like I don't really see the problem unless it's like something that is specific, in terms of like film. So like say for instance, like if we were talking about the Holocaust and then you would replace like, you know, black people as those that were like inside concentration camps and stuff like that, that would obviously be an issue. If we were talking about Harriet Tubman and you would put a white woman playing Harriet Tubman, that would be an issue. But if we're specifically talking about something that isn't race related or something as a serious topic, I don't see the issue at all.
Well, so I'm trying to speak to a broader trend, right? Like we can't look at this in isolation, right? And I'm posting some links in the chat. In The Martian, for instance, right? That famous Matt Damon film where he's stranded on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
they replaced the Indian head of JPL with a black dude, right? Like Indians are like even less represented in the media, right? But they had to blackwash the character, right? They did the same with Queen Margaret of Anjou in this adaptation of The Hollowed Crown, right? And they even made Corlys Valerian in the newest House of the Dragon show, black, even though like canonically, right, there are Summer Islanders in that universe who are already black skinned, and Valyrians, right, members of the Valyrian race are already like depicted in the show and in the books, right, as being fair skinned with silver hair and lilac eyes, and now you have a black Valyrian, right? Who and again, he's part of House Valerian, which is which historically like mixes with the Targaryens. So it doesn't make sense for the Targaryens to be pure white, and then you have this black dude like just randomly in this family tree that they're constantly intermingling with, right? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it's part of this broader trend again to just put black actors in positions where it doesn't make fucking sense.
So I found you two different studies that I want to give you too.
Okay.
But to also respond, even if everything you just said was correct, that doesn't mean that because previously movies insincerely or violated the plot in some way in order to switch out the races, even if that was all correct, that doesn't then mean that you can just assume that it's also like that this time. I know that sounds intuitively incorrect, but it's not actually. That's why you have to look at it on an individual basis. You have to look at it on an individual basis, and that's really it, right? I mean, a lot of those movies I would have to see how they did, but yeah, I just think that even if you're right that there's like a broader push where they've kind of insincerely changed the races and it's historically inaccurate, even if that's right, I don't see how that then means that's what's happening this time also. This could be a different time.
It seems pretty safe to assume that this is one of those times. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but it seems.
Well, I also have a study, two different studies for him. So
I mean, link the study. Like I see it on your stream,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna read it too, so everybody watching. Among 60.
No, just link the fucking study. Like you can literally link the study. Oh wait, are you not? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. Are you
forgetting that I'm streaming also? That I would like to read it to people.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're a frequenter. Like you can just copy. There you go. There you go.
Wait,
yeah,
why?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Just get the streamer doesn't mean you're not special.
Wait, hold on. First of all, I know I was. Wait, hold on. Come on. Stop. Let me respond to the guy. Come on. First of all, I wasn't saying I'm special because I'm a quote unquote streamer. I was explaining that that's why I would want to read it out loud. Second of all, I don't know why you're chuckling in some smug fashion as if you got some kind of. Hold on. Be quiet, dude. Shut the fuck up. Okay. I understand that you think that it's somehow a cheap gotcha to say, oh, Hunter never did studies or never posts studies or something. That is not true. I've consistently shown studies on my screen. I tell people where to find them. You can look them up yourself, and I send them all the time during debates. So can you?
I don't think you guys realize that Hunter is literally streaming.
Yeah, I'm literally streaming right now, and I am literally I am literally a streamer.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Okay,
I'm a B-boy engineer. Oh wow, look at that.
But can I would like to quickly read this then, because this is
neither here or there.
No, this is relevant for my overall argument. So please just let me read this quickly. Among 60 episodes examined, 32, which were 53.3% were considered racially diverse. When the author analyzed the remaining 18 episodes, you can read the whole thing. I'm skipping through it just to the final one. When the author analyzed the remaining 18 episodes that contained stereotypes, they had 106 characters in total, including main ones. Among them, 44 characters were not stereotypical, which is good, followed by 12% for the ghetto look, criminals, angry black women, etc. So not only is there underrepresentation, because the study found that streaming content in general suffered from the same misrepresentation of traditional television shows, not only is there underrepresentation, the current representation is not actually all that positive. So for us to have a boost in representation as far as the Little Mermaid movie, that's the only film I'm talking about, which now is also demonstrated that can help lead to perceptions people have of others, which would then be good because more people are not going to be viewing media where black people are being portrayed as nothing but stereotypical. How is this not just a net win for society? Unless you're racist.
I would say it's an L. I mean, I'm not talking as a monolith for Black people. I'm just talking my personal opinion. It's, I mean, like me, me personally, I see this as an L, and because for number one, it's like I said, I think it's very easy to conclude what the motives are of these said corporations when they continue to virtue signal to, you know, us as a demographic.
Can I just like point out really quickly?
Let me wrap this up. So my main contention is that, first of all, me as a Black man, I like to work for what I get, right? And I like to live in an egalitarian society where I don't feel as though people have to lower their standards in order to accommodate for my needs, right? I feel like I should be able to work towards those things and be able to achieve them myself. And I think that where we are currently, I can fully accomplish that without any sort of boundaries or barriers put in place. Now, when we have these corporations that are continually going out of their way to virtue signal to these minorities and these marginalized groups as if all of them need it, and then they don't even do it in a genuine way, like their ideas for it is not even something that can be approached in an honest to goodness way, then that's where I have a problem with it. Because now it just seems to me that you just want to lower your standards for people like me, and just accommodate to something that just doesn't that we don't necessarily need. We didn't need this. We really didn't. I'm sorry.
Let me cut in here, please, again, because you're falling into another really common conservative trap, which is to dupe you essentially into thinking that it is either recognizing certain inequalities or systems that are still negatively affecting Black people, or B, work for what you need to get in life. You can do it. You can work hard. These are not mutually exclusive. You can recognize where there are certain shortcomings and how media can benefit that, while also recognizing that, hey, I can work as hard as I can to do as best as I can in my life, because you can't individually control systems. Like, that's just good advice. Second of all, it's funny that you keep on accusing Disney of virtue signaling. That's actually what you're doing right now, Banjay, because you're saying it doesn't matter that media. So here's a study right here. I will put it in the chat as well. How the media has helped change public views about lesbian and gay people. And I recognize that this is not on Black people. This is a newer phenomenon. It's been easier to study, but this is also, we can obviously infer that it would also have a very real effect in other ways as well.
Wait, hold on, Avallone. You accused Banjay of falling into a conservative.
Well, I didn't even read I didn't even get my full point out.
I know it's a lot of these studies that you're posting. They're not even studies. They're analysis of just different things. They're not even peer review or have like a control sample. Like
so which one didn't have a control sample?
Trap here.
Wait. Which one didn't have a control? Wait. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Which one didn't have a control group? Is it the one that I sent you?
It states immediately that it's a analysis being done by a telecoms professional, by telecoms professor or just communications professor, and there's no citations or of any sort of like.
Are you talking about the current study now, or the one that I already put in chat?
What?
Are you talking about the one that I already put in chat?
No, the first one that I just spent.
That
like
I talked about the.
What's the title?
Okay, so this is actually really funny, and this is how I know, Poldink, that you are actually in this for nothing but bad faith. You don't have a control group when we're talking about analysis of media representation.
That was a study, though, in which most studies are supposed to have, those type of diatribes, right?
Okay, I get it. Can I just get back to making my argument, and then you can go back to saying really dumb shit, please? So. Here's another thing that I have right here that says how the media has helped change public views about lesbian and gay people. This is another analysis of media because you don't have a control group with analyses of media, which has shown how it has played a big role in changing stereotypes and the perception people have of gay people. If we know that media can negatively impact or positively impact certain perceptions of minority groups because they're a minority, it's less likely that other people have had interactions with them. If we know that it can be used for good or bad, having more representation where we have a Black girl playing a mermaid, where it doesn't change anything in the plot, literally just benefits minority groups. It benefits black people in this case. So you're virtue signaling. You're saying, I don't actually care that this is now pretty much demonstrated to help black people overall, instead of pushing forward a negative representation or just lacking of representation. And instead, it's not good enough for you. It's like we have one side arguing that it's all woke, and then you're saying it's like, it's just not good enough. Like, it might not be good enough, but for you to be like this upset about it, you should be at least a little bit okay with it. I mean, this is a net win.
I'm not pissy about it, and I'm gonna throw it over to my boy right after. But like this, I'm not pissy about it at all. It's just I'm still battling in my head on whether or not I want to see it. Because like for number one, I respect the shit out of Halle Bailey, for number one, but
why do you need to take offense to it?
On a second note, hold on, let me get this thought out. There's on a second note, I really couldn't give less of a fuck about Disney because I already know historically how racist they have been in the past as a corporation, right? And I'm not gonna take them at face value and say, well, maybe they're just trying to be charitable this time. Absolutely not. There are this is the type of shit that these corporations do. And I kind of have to point at the left on this sort of sense, because when we continually have these frustrations emphasized as, a people towards this political position, it's almost like it's almost as if they're not even trying to attempt to listen to what we have to say, right? They put forward these ideas, oh, this is going to benefit us, and then sure, we can say that there's a couple of little black girls that liked it or whatnot, right? But it still is just like, okay, why are we here? Why do we keep resorting to this idea where you have to virtue signal in order to quote unquote give us representation, right?
When it's not virtue signaling to that extent.
Let me finish.
It's not compromising the quality.
Dude, chill. When we have the multiple aspects of representation where we can even do our own shit. Let's take BET for example, right? We already got as much black representation on that shit alone, and not even all the black people respect BET on that aspect. But that's neither here or there. I want to throw it over to Koyu, and then
we'll. Can I respond real quick too, because there was a lot that.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead,
it's
bro.
Just
no
that
rush. You can do
it. I understand that you don't trust Disney, and I'm not saying you have to. Like, yeah, they've definitely been racist in the past. They even have their movies now that start with their little fucking trigger warning to be like, hey, we fucked up. We accidentally were racist back then. Not really. No, they were fucking racist for sure. But I don't know why. Again, that's like, I'm not asking you to like love Disney here. I'm just asking as to whether or not you can see that a film that is going to make billions of dollars and get a fuck ton of attention, featuring a black woman, which is more or less understood that can help in furthering positive perceptions of black people. Like, that in and of itself, principally speaking, is a good thing, no?
Here's the thing about that.
Well, hold on. Yeah. Can Banji just respond? Because I don't know why this has to be like I don't like Disney. Yeah, fuck Disney. Go. Okay, cool.
I wanted to elaborate.
I'm talking about the Black Arielle in principle.
So the thing is that I understand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I understand like Banji's point. Like, black people have been misrepresented a lot in the past, and the thing is here is that I want the film at least to come out and us see like how it actually goes first. Going to my point of view, like, the thing is, it's like when we see black people being represented in a certain light, especially when it comes to films or anything else, we kind of get a little terrified because we know how Disney has been in the past and other corporations have been in the past when it comes to representing black people in certain roles, and they just necessarily haven't gone well, and it leads to a lot of social backlash. Now, the thing here now
comes from conservatives, though.
On your side here, where it's just like the film hasn't come out yet. I would like to see the film first before I come with my own conclusion about it. I don't think really we should have this mindset to where we have some sort of like where the PTSD basically just comes out and basically clouds our perception of what the movie is before it even comes out in the first place.
Right. I agree with that to a large extent, but I think that a lot of that backlash you're talking about is usually from conservatives. I mean, nowadays for conservatives, it's almost becoming the meme, actually, where it is, if it's not a white, straight person, then it's political. It's not political to have black people in a movie. It's not political to show gay people.
Well,
These are facts of the matter. But hold on, wait, please. Let me just say also. You're talking about the other
conservative outrage when it
Dink,
came to
let him finish. Dink, let him finish. Go ahead, Hunter.
I was just going to say, you're also right when you talk about like they fucked up in the past with representation. But what you're demonstrating is that you understand that media representation has power. We're not just going to, Disney's not just going to stop making movies with black people. That's just not going to happen. So the best outcome for what we have realistically is that we have positive representation of black people in media. And that is what is happening here with Black Little Mermaid.
Dude, you're strawmanning the conservative position. It's not the case that conservatives don't want black people in movies, right? And you know that, right?
No, I want to know that, but I don't know if I actually know that.
In films, but it's not just conservatives, though. It's white liberals, too.
Let him finish talking. Oh my god. That's what you do.
So one at a time. Conservatives didn't necessarily have an issue with black representation beforehand, right? But they do have this sort of gimmick. They have a problem with this gimmicky representation, and I feel like, again, you can't just narrow your focus down to a single film,
yes,
right?
You have that's what the controversy is
about.
You have
to see the overarching trend that's going on here, right?
No.
When they cast a black Achilles or a black Queen of England, right?
This is what I mean, though, is you have to see this like agenda. You have to see everything is tied together. Oh, it's all a big plan to show. It's not like that. It's that it's becoming more and more profitable, partially, to have positive depictions of black people. That partially helps the... Excuse me. I'm talking about society shifting and the media corporation simply moving with the trends. It's not all connected in a big agenda to replace white people with black people. It's that the world is less racist now. And so there are also going to be some instances where it's cringe, but... Huh?
Real quick, this is also a straw man to the argument, though, because like I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you. I'm trying to be objective with how the left thinks on this and how the right thinks on this, right? This is not what the right is arguing in any way, shape, or fashion. What and like clearly, like I can ask Zeppi or Dink for clarification if you think I'm wrong in this analysis, cut me off at any point in time. It really doesn't matter. What I think that they're trying to argue is that if you want to live in a more racist society, you don't need to do that by just throwing every single thing, every single aspect of a diversity quota in everybody's face every time they see something on the media. And in fact, I would say it's the exact opposite in this aspect. I would go as far to say that yes, we do live in a society where people on the left, not all of them, but certain people on the left do tend to villainize people who are white, people who are straight, people who are male, and et cetera, et cetera. So if we're continually doing this and we're completely just throwing these other people down the gutter in order to accommodate for this other said person, this is not fair. This is not egalitarian by definition. And we're looking to pursue that sentiment of egalitarianism, then we're gonna have to be more fair with this. And we're not being fair right now. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack.
Wait, hold on. You're actually like, this is incredible. Have you thought about trying out for the Olympics before? Because that flip was fucking insane. What do you mean? I mean, why are you creating this? Hey, Polding, can you stop? You're like,
finish. Damn.
Let him respond, because I really want to engage with this with good faith.
You're creating a dichotomy right now. What do you mean? Hold on, I gotta close my door. Hold on, someone's here.
Go ahead. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
I don't know if the chat. I don't even know if the chat can hear me, but they going nuts on me in there.
This dichotomy that, in order to have more representation for black people, we must have negative representation for white people, and it's not fair. Okay, can you please repeat what you said so that I can better understand it, please?
All right. So let me actually repeat the argument that I put in your text chat for everybody in your chat to read. Right. First of all, if you want for there to be more representation, it would be better for Black people to put forward that representation on their own setting, and for them to do it themselves, because we are capable of doing that.
What do you mean on their own setting? This was on
Well,
her own setting, right?
Let me finish. Pause.
It's just easier to go bit by bit. I'm sorry. I feel like you're giving big speeches, and it's hard to address everything.
I don't want white people to be doing everything for us. I'm sorry. Right? And when we already know that these same motherfuckers got a racist past, I can say with full confidence that these people do not have our best interest at heart, right? This is my personal opinion. And when you have these corporations that are primarily run by whites, and all they're trying to do is virtue signal, and then now we're talking about the benefits of it, okay, we can say that this benefits us in first glance, maybe at the first sight of it, but the point of the matter is that these are the same people that literally are doing this just to get a fucking just to get a fucking money in their pockets.
You
and
are twisting this so badly. You make it sound like they're
that's not fair.
You make it sound like they're doing this to get a quick buck or whatever. It is literally popular right now due to stop. Due to stop, please. Shh. Due to society progressing, the society that we live in is becoming less racist across the board. Media appeals to society. They don't just like decide to do this thing. It's what is generally, yes, more profitable, but I see that again as a good thing. It's good that the way that right now our society is, it is actually profitable to have positive representation of Black people. But you're over here hung up on this like, but the companies ran by whites, like, they make their decisions. You said, I don't want Black people having white people make their decisions for them. The woman, Hal Bailey, she decided to take the role. She made the decision.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's great.
What do you mean? Did you think that like a Disney exec held her at like gunpoint?
No, obviously not. Chill the fuck out. But like, I thought that they selected some of these people by random. I thought that they selected some of these people by random and like put them on a contract. I didn't think that these people were actually going out to audition for the said role. I didn't know that's what was going on. But if that's what happened, then yeah, I will agree with you on that part. Right. Okay. So yeah, it's all good.
I just feel like it overall does do a lot of positive, and it does seem to do, it just seems to be a net positive. So I think it is a little bit hard for me to understand how some of your other complaints, I understand. I'm not saying that like you're being irrational or whatever. I understand where you're coming from. It just seems like, why is it either or? Why does having the other problems you have mean that you should be against the positive representation currently in media? Like, at least do the thing that works right now and continue pushing for what you want. You can do both.
I think in Jay's argument, what he'd be hinting at is maybe there's better models for doing it than some of the heavy-handed ways that are currently popping up pretty frequently. But I agree. Like if you're approaching it consequentially, right? It's like if it does create a net positive, you should do it. If you don't have a different strategy to achieve that, then and just go with the strategy you have, I guess. I do think oftentimes it can be a bit like a PSA in the middle of what the media you're watching and a bit distracting. But yeah, I mean, people are getting the ball rolling for increasing representation. So you can create a net benefit that probably justifies it, but there's definitely some cost along with that benefit.
I don't think people are like engaging with whether it's advantageous to society. Like I don't think anyone who has a problem with Arielle being Black, the reason they're against it is because they don't want to benefit Black people. It's just because it's stupid because the character was white, right? Like I don't remember people having a problem when Disney made a Black princess and Princess and the Frog. But if that movie
she was cute too.
Like if that movie, it's like if they remade that movie but they made Tiana white, I'd have the same reaction, right? Like I would look at it and be like, what the fuck? That character used to be Black. Like why did they change her white?
Again.
Like so, like we all remember Arielle being a white person.
Again,
that's the opposite of being colorblind. Which the movie? Hold on, wait. That's the opposite of being colorblind because the movie, for example,
we're not colorblind.
It's not based on the race. The role isn't race based. So yes, having it be either a white or a Black person, I don't know why that's a problem.
Yeah, it's just like what he said.
Based
like
on the original movie. And in the movie that we all remember, it was a white girl. So why did they choose to turn her black? Like, that just seems weird, right? Like, that's
an
why
entire culture
not?
shift with the Princess and the Frog and made it actually relevant to black people.
Especially
did they take Princess and the Frog and make it?
If the movie is not based on race, then why are we having a problem?
That's what I keep saying is, and this, I don't know why we keep rearing over into this other.
If it's not rooted in some kind of racism, if we're not talking about something that is specifically race based, why are we having such an issue about representation here?
Wait,
I could explain that.
I mean, it would be an issue. Wait. It would be an issue. I guarantee you, it would be an issue if there was like, if we had again a Holocaust film and all of those Jews that were in concentration camps were black or Latino. That would be quite an issue because that would be misrepresenting
that's history.
History and what is actually happening. Now, if we're talking about something as if or something like just fictional characters, or what Disney does is make a lot of fictional films, you know, I don't think that's really a big issue.
But it is based on something, which is the original film, right?
So
if there was no Little Mermaid originally, and they were just making an original new movie,
go one at a time.
This is why I was saying
you. All right, all right. Let's do Iris and then Steve.
If there wasn't an original Little Mermaid movie and they were just making a new Disney original about a character they made up who was a black mermaid, I don't think anybody would have the type of objection you're hearing. It's specifically a reaction not to the character being black, but to the character being changed to be black. So it's not anti-representation.
The thing I think a lot of people do when it comes to this is they lost my train of thought. So people they push their idealistic view on race and the world and media, and they want what they want to be in media. So if there's not a certain amount of characters in a movie or a TV show that aren't a certain color, they're not going to be happy about it. They want people to feel represented. They want it to be almost like a quota, right? And so people get unhappy about that sort of thing. And then people on the other side as well are like, well, that's ridiculous. We shouldn't have a certain amount of people from a certain race. Because at the end of the day, it's all just pretty pointless. The whole idea in today's society is that we're not supposed to care about race, right? We're supposed to treat each other equally.
But it's like by trying not to care about race, you're caring about race in a way.
That should be okay.
And if we know it's positive, if it leads to more positive outcomes.
The idea that I do agree with, right, is when, like, say you're portraying something in history, like you were portraying the slave trade in America, and all of the slaves happen to be white, and then it's supposed to be factually correct, right, and historical. Then I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, that's actually wrong. But otherwise, it's just people moaning about silly shit. Like, race isn't supposed to matter, guys.
So do we all agree then that the Little Mermaid movie is actually based on red-pilled? Arielle red-pilled?
People on here earlier were arguing about Game of Thrones and the race of characters.
We'll just have to wait to see the movie itself.
There was a reason.
No, or to we don't actually have to wait to see the movie. Right now, at least, the conversation is it good to have the Little Mermaid changed to a black girl, and is it racist to oppose it?
I'm no sure.
I mean, people are worried about the Little Mermaid.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
But wait. I don't. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Who was just laughing, saying you think people care about Little Mermaid? Did I mishear that?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I find it funny, right, that people give a fuck about this sort of thing, right? The race has been changed. Oh wow! Like,
I mean,
are you not from America?
Or something, but really, like,
are you not from America?
No, he's not.
No.
Oh, okay. Culture shock then, yeah. I was gonna say, like, wait, how do you not know that? Yeah, conservatives, they're here to get mad about anything, you know.
I know what the.
I mean, you're not in a conservative Discord. I know you probably got banned from Archon Discord, not to Avallone. I know you probably were, you know, but you know, maybe we should stop spurging out for a minute.
It's really not spurging out. It's funny that
he got banned by a place that was an echo chamber, and you're coming.
Like,
wait, could I just wait, guys, come on,
chamber, like, who knew? But then again, like, Hunter Avallone seems to have an issue of being consistent, you know, with someone that was once afflicted with the far right, made some really edgy videos, and then suddenly recanted and joined the left and you need some more pay money, you know, right?
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Like
I want to be honest right now. Shout out to Polding, because I'm sorry. I think he might be a mind reader because he literally got it identical. That's exactly how it happened.
Very scathing critique. I hope you have fun with this.
Oh
Your
my
shit
God.
is never good. All you just do is just stream. You just fucking stream all day long and just fucking invade other fucking Discord servers when we're having other discussions.
Wait.
And
Do you think that maybe you want to just go? Well, hold on, guys. This is hold on. Wait, stop. He just called me out personally. Please let me respond.
That's fine. Let me just move on from this. After this.
Pull. It's funny because what I was originally going to say when I said conservatives are always here to get mad is that you guys have become the SJWs that were 2016. You're offended by movies with different colored people. You're scared of everything. And now you just did it too. You just did the, hey, can I go somewhere else? You want to go to your safe space? You're acting like a fucking snowflake, bro.
I'm saying that we were having a different discussion, and you coming here with your fucking stream, being like,
been having this conversation now for a little while.
And I want to fucking bring content in for my.
It just sounds like you're really. It sounds like you're just really triggered right now.
No, it's fucking true.
This is what I mean. He's like Trigglypuff right now. You guys remember Trigglypuff?
We were having a discussion about African models and how cute they are, and then you come in here wanting to fucking talk about Little Mermaid. Like, come on.
First of all, Dink. We weren't even talking about anything of importance before Hunter Avallone came in here. We were just sitting in here fucking trolling.
I'm also gonna leave soon too because I don't want to be on this debate for much longer.
That's not true. We're talking about apple juice.
Dink, hear me out, right? This conversation could have been 10 times productive had we just literally sit here and just had a literal conversation with the guy about something that we could have possibly reached the middle ground of. But instead, you would rather come over here and just get your little 10 seconds of fame because Hunter is streaming and you want to be on fucking YouTube rather than just actually be fucking mature. What the fuck up, bro?
I'm not being bad faith right now. Genuinely.
Get back on the topic. Okay.
So
he's right. I might change my politics overnight again.
I want to get back on topic here. So the thing about everybody
fuck it, I'm a tanky now.
The thing about everybody wanting to utilize like race and movies and stuff like that and calling us like SJWs, like I really don't think that that's like really the case here, because it's just like when it comes to, like I've mentioned before with some films, I mean, if we're talking about something that's race based, obviously people are going to want their race to be represented, especially if it comes to stuff that's like historical or
right. But we're just saying the same thing because
like what Steve said, they want to be represented in some case. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people around other countries also somewhat feel the same way if they want like certain things being represented or they want to be represented in some kind of way. And misrepresentation does really kind of, hurt some people in some kind of way. So it's just, I wouldn't really just go about it and just say, like everybody's just being kind of senseless here. I mean, respect other people's feelings, but in a way, like we shouldn't take it too far to the point where, I mean, if something is being misrepresented, especially like when we're talking about fiction, then it's just a huge fucking problem. So how it's taking out of proportion, yes, I can agree, but how it's being used and how other people feel about it, I don't agree.
Well, so can we why don't we just end on this note then? Why don't we come to the common ground then that for Bajé and Teptit or whatever, so they were like the main people who were in disagreement here, along with me, I mean. Have we all then agreed that, okay, the Black Little Mermaid thing is based in Red Pilled?
Not necessarily based in Red Pilled.
But do you not have as much of an issue with it now?
Answer the damn question that was bounced at me. Come on now. Wait. I'm not going to say that it was based in Red Pilled, but I will actually give the movie a chance and see where it's at and I'll reach out to you by email and tell you my thoughts about it. And
why are you watching a movie made for little girls, man? This is
Oh my god!
Shut the fuck up!
Don't make me.
It's a
Don't
far
make me
stretch
angry.
for what that guy just said a minute ago for like any of this.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna log off now, but I'm really.
This is like the smallest of problems.
Just to
this is barely even politics.
I don't know, man.
All
If
right.
Brandy and
Can I
Whitney
just
could
say
do
goodbye
it,
to
then,
really
like, I don't
quickly,
see
please?
that's
Because
a problem,
I gotta split now. I'm gonna split, but yeah. Thanks everybody for the debate. This was a lot of fun. And it turns out that Poldink was actually correct. I've just duped you all, and I'm being paid by George Soros and Disney to promote Little Mermaid. So see you later, suckers.